All right, we are going into the new year, which is incredible, but also most people will turn to vision boards and affirmations, which after investing over $1 million in myself and going through over 600 processes, I found a few things that could change your life regarding vision boards and affirmations. I want to teach you those. I'm Tyler Watson. I am an elite performance coach. And having gone from a place of being broke as a massage therapist, literally charging like 15 bucks a pop, to creating millions of dollars serving people at a really cool level, I found that vision boards aren't as effective as they could be. And I've used vision boards for over 13 years. However, how I use them is different than most people. I don't use them as a vision board as much as I use them as a becoming board. Affirmations, I don't use just to speak stories or to say good things or say positive stuff. I use it as a way to confront resistance, and that resistance is what dictates how fast or slow you get your result. So let's dive in so that you can understand the power of using a vision board and your affirmations in a way that helps you become unstoppable on this journey. By the way, if you like stuff like this and you love to use the fastest possible methods out there, then follow this channel because I teach what's called the cellular alignment technique, the fastest technique on the planet to create lasting results, because we don't just go through the mindset or the nervous system, which is looking at vision boards and saying affirmations, or it's not dependent upon repetition or passion. It's dependent upon resistance that comes in two forms. One comes in the form of a flight response, one in the fight response. One as an addiction, one as an allergic reaction. To every action, you have an equal and opposite reaction. To every addiction, you actually have an allergic response. So you can be addicted to struggle and allergic to success. And if you're just doing your vision board without working through the resistance, you're missing 95% of the game. Otherwise, you're going to have to ingrain it in you through repetition and passion. And that's why it works with some people, but not everybody, is because just through repetition and passion, it'll work if most of your body's already on board. But if some part of you is resistant to that thing, then you're going to have to do a lot of repetition and passion to get you to that thing, which is why most people go through, let's get to the root cause. Let's figure out what's keeping you from that thing. Let's figure out your past life traumas and your dramas and your mamas and all that stuff. However, there is a simpler, more effective way. And I want to teach you how to do that. So let's break it down, shall we? All right. Let's take your vision board, for example. There's a lot of videos out there to teach you how to do a vision board. It doesn't matter if it's a vision board, how you have it set up, if it's in the left-hand corner. I've tested all these things, and I've went through some extensive trainings where it's like, okay, you have to have your logical stuff on the left that represents the logical brain, and you move it to the right with the creative. If it's in this top left corner, and this right corner, and this, and it's just a bunch of BS. Belief systems. If you believe it's going to help, it will. But what I do find that does change the game is working through the resistance towards that thing. For example, let's say you have a goal and you're looking at the goal, right? So your goal is maybe let's say it's maybe your first 10K in a month, or maybe it's your first 100K in a month, or your first 100K weekend. So I actually use this. I did vision boards, and one experience was I put on my vision board that I make $35,000 in a month. That was over 10 years ago, when that was a big deal. And I was like, oh man, that would be so incredible. My previous annual income was like $13,500. So this was like a 3x income within a month. That's like a 10x goal, right? And I was like, this is crazy. So I was like, okay, I sell a $35,000 package. That would be so incredible, yeah. So I visualized it. I put it on the vision board, and I looked at it every day and every morning and every night, and I would literally think about it throughout the day and just, I'm so thankful and grateful now that I have this $35,000 package that I sold. As I got better and better and better, fast forward about 3 or 4 months into this, I sold my first $35,000 package. But the problem was it wasn't mine. In fact, I had a coach that I was coaching for when I was doing stuff for Les Brown and Ted McGrath and doing stuff all over the world. And one of them got me into their sales team because they saw that I was getting momentum. and I sold his $35,000 package. So I switched out my words. I sell my $35,000 package. And then all of a sudden I was able to get that within about 2 more months. Now, what helped me get it? There was a couple processes that I did, and back then I didn't have this process, which is called cellular alignment technique, which I'm going to teach you, or at least the basics to. And by the way, if you want to see more of this, we're going to go in depth on this in an upcoming challenge, which you can check in the details in the description and sign up for. It's an incredible challenge, and that way we can interact and I can dive into the depths of it. And it's a lot more in depth than just these videos, but at least you can take this video and run with it. So you can check out the description if that resonates. Cool? Okay, back to the thing. So if you have your goal, like make sure the words matter. I sell my $35,000 package. Okay, got it. Now, when you're looking at your vision board, take out a pen and paper, phone or whatever, and now this is a becoming challenge. So if I'm looking at my vision board, I'm like, okay, I sell my $35,000 package. I'm going to tune in to the resistance. I want to tune into the resistance. I'm looking for the resistance because the trigger is the transformation. The trigger or the resistance that you get when thinking about something ideal is the path to get you where you want to go. But you just haven't confronted the resistance to become the person capable to get that thing. So therefore, you won't get the thing until you're ready. Make sense? Hopefully so. So here's what you got to do. You got to become the person capable of moving through all the resistance so that it becomes a choice in all parts of your body. So what I did, I looked at the goal, and I did this daily for weeks. And I'd look at the goal. I sell my $35,000 package. And then I wrote down all the doubts and fears and anxieties and uncertainties around what that would do. So it was like, I don't feel good enough. I don't know enough. I'm not capable. There's no way I can do this. I don't know how. I need to invest even more. I'm not ready. Who would ever pay me that? And you just purge as much as you can. Look back at the board, fight, put down the resistance. Boom, 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 boom. Once you go through all the resistance, you're going to incorporate this process, which there's other videos that I've done talking about this process. It's called cellular alignment technique. There's over 22 variations to this. And I'm going to teach you the basic concept of this so that you can start doing it and getting a result right away. Okay? The science behind it, why it works, you can check out in the description. There's other videos on this. But I want to talk about first how to use it. Because if you can use it and see the shifts, it doesn't matter how it works. Just do it. Do the freaking thing, right? Okay, so you're looking at the goal. You're confronting the resistance, putting it down. Now, what do you do with the resistance, right? Well, let's change it because the resistance is an addiction in my body. If I have these belief systems, these thoughts, these feelings, it means some part of my body's addicted to this resistance and is recreating scenarios to evoke these emotions up again. That's why people repeat the past, is because it's familiar. And a person would rather repeat the past, even if it sucks, than create something new that could be foreign that could cause more pain or suffering. So we want to confront that, work through it, and align it so that it becomes a choice. So here's what you're going to do. As you write it down, look at your vision board, write down all the negative stuff, all the non-ideals. Now you're going to tune into your body where you feel the resistance. Some of you might have a little trouble feeling it at first, but that's okay. If you don't feel it, just tap on your chest. And this is not tapping. This is not EFT. I pulled from some of those ideas, but this is called cellular alignment technique. Now, the strategy of it, the tapping, breathing, smiling, and the panting, all of that is critical for this to work at the highest level. And what we're doing is we're causing a triggered response, doing the breath patterns, put yourself into a calming state, then it puts you into a fight state, takes you to two extremes, where two extremes, they come and meet, and it neutralizes. And then when you go in and you're tapping, it's like causing these micro traumas around the macro trauma. And again, the full description and stuff, check out more videos on this. I just want to kind of go over briefly so you get an idea of this, and then just do it. Just see it, how it works, okay? So you look at it, get the opposition, vocalize 2 or 3 at a time, tap where you feel it. Tune into your uncomfortablenesses. Tap that area while vocalizing the non-ideals. So, oh man, I'm not good enough. I feel like no one will ever pay me $35,000. I don't want to take advantage of them. And then align. So while tapping on the area, you're going to tap on the forehead down to the back of the neck while breathing in through your nose, then out through your mouth. You're going to do this 3 times in a row. In, out, in, out. Now you go into a panting while keeping the tapping. 3 times. And smile. Okay, as crazy as that sounds and seems, what you're doing is you're rewiring your cellular memory to stop the addicted cycle. And it works crazy good. Like, these are the same processes that I helped Tarrant, who went from making literally nothing as a coach to hitting his 6 figures in less than 7 months, to, you know, people that I work on in Russell Brunson's inner circle who are making millions, but maybe they're not keeping it. Some of them are losing stuff and their ego's in the way and they don't want to admit it. But after working through those addictions, then they get back on their game. They get back into that flow state and things feel like a choice again. Okay? So that's what this is about, is getting into full choice. So you're going to look at your vision board, write down the things that you want, right? Create your vision board, Google it, tons of crappy ways to do a vision board. The key is just look at something ideal and then confront the resistance. Write down the resistance, vocalize the resistance, tap where you feel, align. Do that, and holy crap, you could spend months meditating, visualizing, past life regression. You could spend literally months of repetition and passion trying to ingrain your vision board in you. Or you could spend 10 to 20 minutes, align yourself so that it's a full choice and you don't have to go through all the repetition and passion. It's insane. I'm going to save you hundreds of hours. You're welcome. And all you do is got to do this. So then after you're done, that's when the best time to take action is when you're in a state of alignment. So what I did, I looked at it, wrote the opposition down, tapped, aligned, vocalizing these things. Then right after, I'd say, okay, what's my number 1 action step to help me achieve this now? Write it down, take action. If you resist the action, you can do this process as well. You could vocalize the opposition, tap it, align it, go take action. And that's why we've created this challenge, is to help you implement all this as well. So if that still resonates, something you want to do, check out the link in the description. You can join my challenge and get more of this in detail, get your questions answered, and experience it for yourself. Cool, cool? All right, so instead of having to go repetition, passion, the same thing applies for positive affirmations. You could say a positive affirmation, but if you're allergic to that affirmation, you're just putting yourself into a fight response over and over and over. It's not actually doing good. So it's not about positive and negative, it's about reactions. Reactions are the key. The key to success are confronting your reactions and making them become choices. If all part of you choose, you're unstoppable. Like, imagine this. Imagine you think of your goal, you visualize it, you affirm it. But instead of it just being a wish or something you're trying to ingrain, it just feels so natural, like breathing, that it's not even something you have to think of or visualize anymore because you're already living it, doing it, breathing it, and getting it. That's the power of alignment. Alignment is about choice. You have a choice. Choose. Choose to align. It's way more fun, way more effective. Thanks for joining me today. If this has resonated with you, like, subscribe, share, do all that fun stuff, because my number 1 goal is to help you become unstoppable as fast as humanly possible. Use this process. Let me know how it goes in the chat. I love seeing the comments, but really practice this. Do it for a day or 2 and see. And if you have questions about it, just put it in the chat. I love answering those questions, and my goal is that you can win and win big. We'll see you next time.